What about the girls who didn't choose you and ended up well? What about those girls?
I wish the worst for them eventually.
See, this is called anger and sadness.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cafe Belmont. My name is James Belmont. Thank you for joining me. Today, I wanted to do a case study of a man who hates women genuinely. It's a weird thing to say. And why he deserves to be single. We're going to talk about one thing in particular, which is his mindset, and a couple other things as well. So a little bit of context before I start. I found this video on YouTube by a creator that goes by FitX Fearless. He was conducting an interview with a guy named Michael. Michael began to explain the reasons why he was on here was because he was finding it difficult to find any type of woman. I'm not going to lie to you. Michael has a very off-putting demeanor. That's not to attack his character and who he is as a person. It's just that it comes off as really strange when you hear him talk about some of the things that he has to say about women, and he has a really big smile across his face. Perhaps it was just nerves. That's just something that I found weird about him. Michael began to voice his problems with women, that they always seem to choose the bad guy and not a good guy like him.
But the toxic guys, I don't.
Forget the toxic guys, Michael. The toxic guys are getting pussy for free. You're not. You're paying to sleep with women.
Right?
And you talking about it's okay that they end up the way they are. But you give them money to sleep with you.
That's not all they deserve.
But why do you, if you...
This is ironic, considering that he wants harm to come to these women, all with a big smile on his face. And I don't think Michael is the only guy that is like this. Next, we're going to talk about their mindset. There are a lot of guys like Michael out there who try to be with the opposite sex with minimal success. And they blame their lack of success on the woman's choices to be with a bad man, so to speak. It is true that women sometimes choose bad partners to be with and sometimes reproduce with. But this also applies to men as well. They choose the woman who is attractive on the outside but hideous on the inside. In Michael's mind, he is a nice person, but some of the things that he says contradicts that statement. He would want the woman, but at the same time he wishes harm to come to them. He also believes because he is a nice person, he is supposed to be treated a certain type of way, but that's not how things work, not in the slightest. I believe that there is a difference between a nice guy and a nice person. Nowadays, when I hear a person say that they're a nice guy or a nice person, often don't believe them at all. Because if you are a nice person, you don't have to say it, generally speaking. You show it through your actions. Anybody who starts off a conversation with "I'm a nice person," 9 times out of 10, that person has something wrong with them. Not everybody, there are exceptions, but this is how I think, or this is how I see things. A good person to me demonstrates his generosity through actions. He does not put down others to make himself feel better. In the context of this video, when it comes to interactions with women, if the woman does not want me, I'll take the loss and keep it pushing. Nothing more, nothing less. That to me is what a good person would do. A nice person would do the opposite though. I wanted to talk about his argument that has to do with women choosing bad guys over good guys. I think his definition of a bad guy is skewed because it could be applied to any guy that gets play with women. In his mind, it could be something as petty as the guy doesn't reply immediately to her text, but he does. Because he doesn't have any experience, he doesn't see how that could come off as needy. The quote-unquote bad guy has a couple of things. They tend to be attractive, fit, and have some money to them, or they have a lot of money. But the most important element is that they are attractive. and the woman finds him attractive. The nice guy tends to be timid, generally not fit, not traditionally attractive, but has some money or a lot of money. And they believe because they have the money and they respond to the woman's needs all the time, telling her how beautiful she is. And all of these other things that they hear all the time, they believe that they should be at the top of the list. This description of the nice guy aligns with the mentality of a person like Michael. If you look at some of the things that were used to describe the nice guy, the majority of those things can be changed to varying degree. They could go to the gym, they could get their money up, they could invest in a good haircut. These are things that they can change. But when you ask them if you go to the gym, they'll say no. How often do you get a haircut? Not very often. How often do you exercise in general? Not often. What do you do to make yourself more approachable and be able to conversate with women? Not very many things, they would reply. This is where a lot of them get lost. They believe because of the way that they think the women should accept the fact that they are less attractive. They do not go to the gym. They do not know how to hold a conversation over a guy who does all of these things. If you as a person have the option to choose someone who is traditionally attractive, who knows how to hold a conversation, who has some money but he has goals and aspiration, or a person who does not know how to hold a conversation to save his life, but he has a lot of money and not that attractive, a good percentage of the time you would choose the first option, regardless if you are a man or a woman. The guy that goes into the gym and made himself a better person, and now as a result he's getting play with women. He's not going to choose the woman who is less attractive. He's going to choose the woman that is more attractive every single time, with some exceptions. For example, if the guy has the option between a more attractive woman, less attractive woman, with some exception, if the woman doesn't bring him any peace, that being the woman that is more attractive, he will more likely choose the woman that is less attractive. Generally speaking, if all of the boxes are ticked, he will choose the more attractive option. If you believe that you should be chosen just because you're nice, that signals to me that you are a very transactional person. I do something for you, you do something for me. Not out of the kindness of your heart, but because you think that's the way it should be. It's selfish and it is insulting. In conclusion, there will always be room for improvement in your life. And just because somebody didn't choose you, that does not mean you're worthless. It's just that they chose somebody who fits who they would want to be with. Find a purpose, work towards it day to day, and you will see your life improve drastically. This has been Cafe Belmont. My name is James Belmont. Thank you for joining me. Before I go, tell somebody in your life that you love them, and I will see you soon. Take care.